Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Andrews and Eastern. It's getting on about 2:30 in the afternoon in-game. Our two afternoon freight trains are meeting each other here at Wesser. But they won't be leaving just quite yet. You see, if you take a look, you've got a car that needs to go to Andrews. Got a train going to Andrews. And we've got an engine that'll be very conveniently placed to do some switching. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do some switching. Blue Ridge Road Productions, I guess you're the first. And Celestial! Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your trip. So, once our train comes to a stop, we will do some uncoupling and switching. For reference, we've got one passenger train that's just about to crest Red Marble, and one that's at Alarka Junction. So for this stream, we'll probably get these two freights to their destinations, get the passenger trains turned around for the last trips of the day, and then I'll do the rest off camera. And we will start again tomorrow. Now, we don't have signals this far, so it's pretty easy to still do things manually. Not sure how else you can spell hello incorrectly, because I can't remember all the ways you've done it. I guess Halo? Haylo? This is a good game, Blue Ridge, and there's a lot more to come. If you take a look at the news on Steam, they're preparing a big Maintenance of Way update, which will add, optionally, a whole bunch of challenges for you to deal with, because you'll have to actually maintain this railroad too. Part of me is very much looking forward to it. Part of me is wanting to get this scenario done before it hits so that I don't have to deal with it. Good to hear you had a good trip, and don't worry, I know how that feels. I feel like I could talk about my Denmark trip for hours. Come on, a little more. So, what we're gonna do... we don't want to split the pulpwood. And this way we'll be able to actually get this car on and then get this car back. And don't worry, these things are, well, maybe worry, these things are getting scrapped, so there's no one on board. Getting delayed. The Scrapalachia mod on Nexus Mods is honestly really fun. Some other fun mods I recommend, well, I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, once you've gotten the base game down, it's a lot of fun to start adding mods. And Nexus Mod seems to be the main place to get them. A lot of them require Unity Mod Manager, which is a completely separate thing, but I do recommend it. Another one I like is, I can't remember what it's called, Map Enhancer. So that changes your map so you can do things like throw switches remotely, see the entire length of your train instead of just the engine, see where everything on your train is going. Super nice. There's also one for what they call charter caboose, which means that your cabooses can haul passengers, which is also kind of nice. Synth V and Solaria, I've not heard of it, but it sounds like something cool, so good for you. Alright, Blue Bridge. I apologize if I accidentally called you Blue Ridge. It was a bit hard to read. So yeah, I've mentioned a couple of the mods. Map Enhancer being the main one. Unity Mod Manager to get some others. Charter Caboose is good. If we go to the front of the train, this is the D85. It is a 410 based off a model built by John Allen, who's famous for the Gory and Defeated Railroad. That's a whole other story. But it is stronger than pretty much any other engine in the base game. There's a few other engine mods I've got. There's, of course, the L27 Skookum, which is fun, but you have to be careful with it because it slips. So it's not fun to AI. And on a big railroad where most of my trains are AI'd, that's a bit of an issue. I actually pulled it out a bit last session to do some logging. Let's see, what are some other good ones? I could probably find a way to pull up a list, because I know the list comes up whenever you start the game. Like I said, there's a few other engine mods. In fact, if I go to my character... Oh, nope, that didn't work. Somewhere around here... If I can figure out how to get... There we go. So this is another mod. This is actually technically two mods. This is the A12. It's based on the Virginian Truckee Reno. If you want to act like you're playing in the ye oldie days of railroading, this is a fun one. And if I look at Scrapalachia, of course, is one. That is if I were to hop over there, that adds a track, and you can deliver things to be scrapped. They'll be scrapped gradually, but you'll get money for it. And repair parts. That also ties into the used locomotive market. You can buy things used. They'll be cheaper than normal. They'll also be very much beat up, and sometimes you'll need to overhaul them. But it does add some fun variety to the game. Alright, I'm going to get these trains rolling, and then I'll maybe talk about a couple more. There's also a few that I've got, but I'm not using at the moment. Spoiler, they might show up a bit later. I mentioned Charter Caboose. There is one for excursion cars. I don't think they'll actually show up in this view, though, because they didn't make a model for them. Or they didn't make a picture for them. Some of them do. For example, what is it? Where is it? The John Allen, you can see has a little picture for it. And let's get you lined into the yard. So that's another mod. There's F units. Oh, they're not showing. There's a really cool one for a Jeep 38 for some later power. There's... someone made a box cab. There's one that gives you parlor versions of the open-air cars. Or not the open-air cars, the 1900s coaches. There's a version that makes parlor cars so you can get the observation bonus. I don't know if they're going to add Northerns. Northerns are a bit big for this line, but then again, so is like half the engines on here. It would be cool to have a bigger Mikado and a bigger Mountain. At least that's my opinion. Solari is a vocal synthesis software. Think like Miku as cringe. That sounds. Okay, so way to make synthesized voices and software to interface with it. Okay, I think I get what you're talking about. So yeah, that's a few of the mods I've got. I'm probably forgetting some, but those are the ones I'd recommend. There's a couple Lego Train mods. Lego Train being the person that add things like extra customizations for your engines, new paint schemes. There were a couple for extra log cars, but I don't have those on. There's some for more whistles. This one, I don't think the picture's going to show, but there's a streamlined passenger train. There's also a steam engine for it. And of course, coaches for it, but the coaches are very heavy. Yeah, Northerns are cool. Fortunately, I live within a couple hours of two of them. Unfortunately, neither one is really able to run right now because of, you know, insurance and rules and such. And I keep jumping around so much the map is having trouble loading. There it goes. So, just to show what we've got left, passenger train heading to Andrews will need to be turned. Other one is almost to Bryson. When it reaches Whittier, we'll need to turn it. This freight train will need to go to Bryson and be broken up. There's a train in Whittier that may or may not get sent to Bryson tonight. There's a log train we can do some things with. There's a pulpwood train we can send out as well. That'll probably happen after we turn the passenger train. And we're going to need a helper for the other freight train, but fortunately we have our helper. There probably won't be much en route switching now. We're going to save that for tomorrow morning, in-game. I think Confederation actually was the official term at first, and then they changed it to Northern. And Confederation is kind of a cool word. Unfortunately, in the US, it has some negative connotations. Unless you're one of those really, really, really old people who remembers the Articles of Confederation that predated the US Constitution. Admittedly, if it had been a good set of articles, we wouldn't have a Constitution. So let me double check what I've got on this train in terms of cars. Other button. So we've got coaling tower, all good Celestial. So Bryson, Hemingway, which means it'll go to Bryson and get dropped off in the morning. Connolly, Connolly, Connolly means it's going to Whittier. Whittier, Whittier. And then we need to set these up for where they're going. Sell, scrap line. Sell, scrap line. And then a caboose, because cabooses are fun. In-game, they don't serve any purpose, and I wish they did, and I wish I remembered to flip my markers. It would be nice if they served a purpose, like oiling your train from both ends. Right now, our bearings are doing pretty good. But yeah, it would be nice if your caboose had a purpose besides just being on the back of the train. I finally started using them just because the train looks better with them, although some of my trains don't use them. Ironically enough, the train that doesn't use it most is the train that would probably need it the most, the one that makes lots of switching. And we can also pull up the list and pop over to our other road freight. This is a heavy model, so it takes a while to load in if it's out of render distance. But yeah, all of these are going to interchange except for the pulpwood cars. Which reminds me, I guess there is a mod that lets you do, like, captive freight for the lumber mill and also interchange pulpwood and logs, but I haven't tried getting it yet. Problem is, if it uses rail loader, I don't want to use it, because I don't have rail loader. And due to, things, you can't get rail loader right now anyway. Yeah, so 2,000 tons on this train. And I don't remember what the D85 is rated for on Red Marble. If you got the game a week ago, you might not know how steep Red Marble is. Red Marble has a max 4.5% grade going towards Andrews. I think it's like max 3.9 going the other way. So we will need a helper. And not only will we need a helper, we might still need to double it. Fortunately, the engine we've got on the other end is... I can't remember what the designation is now. F71, Santa Fe. This is the most powerful steam engine in the base game, if I recall. Yeah. I've got the H9, but I never use it. I think it's just because it's such a heavy model. But we've got... or we've had most of the others. Well, anything above about here, I think, we've had. We do have an A12. We have an A23 that we don't use anymore. Man, I've been playing this round so long, I've forgotten what even what the original premise is almost. So, the original premise. If you've played Railroader, you know that you always start in Whittier, and you have to work your way west towards Bryson and Andrews, and or east towards Silva. I decided to do something a little different, and I used Sandbox to make a map where you start in Andrews, and you have to go towards Whittier. Ooh, there is a mountains mod. I might have to look into that. So starting in Andrews, going towards Whittier, which means that you have to deal with Red Marble right at the start. I did give myself a bit of help because I started myself with the K35 and a D46 instead of, you know, the little mogul and 10-wheeler. To give myself progression, I staged train wrecks at various points along the route, which then had to be cleared in order to proceed through the map. So you'll notice must repair or scrap all salvaged equipment. That's how I got most of my stuff. I took it back to the shop, repaired it, and then either sold it or kept it as I needed it. Eventually they added scrap mod, so I scrapped some of it. Now, as far as those other goals, I have paid down the debt, and I've got most of the industries up to tier 3, but not all of them. The ones on the far east end, those are still around tier 2. And as it is, I cheated a bit to get them up because I don't feel like playing this for 6 more in-game days. That would take like 18 weeks if I stream once a week and did 3 streams per in-game day. That said, the Sawmill says they like our business, and so they might tier us up tomorrow. And that would allow us to finish this playthrough a little bit quicker. We will see how that works. I typically stream Wednesdays about 6 p.m. Pacific time. That seems to be the date I've settled on. Sometimes I'll add an extra stream over the weekend as desired. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to pop on the Nexus mods after this and see what else we got. It's been a while since I took a look. Since we are getting near the end of this series, I am pondering what to do for another stream series. There's I've got a great idea, or at least a fun idea for doing a diesels only playthrough, starting in Whittier. Other ideas include playing the new game Construction, which comes out on the 1st. It looks fun. It's basically a build a railroad game, so kind of sort of like Railroads Online. But all the actual freight stuff is done by AI. You just have to build the tracks and make sure they can get places. And things can get kind of crazy from the looks of it. Yeah, the A12 is a good one, but keep in mind you'll need a second mod for the tender trucks, which for some reason are separate. And again, you might need Unity Mod Manager for some of these mods. They will tell you what you need before you download them. Actually gonna jump over to Bryson real quick, because I can't remember. I might be able to show something else off. I guess I can show off the scrap line a bit. No. The car I'm thinking of, I had an excursion car in here, but it got scrapped. But yeah, so we're loading up scrap metal, which we can deliver for money, and repair parts, which we can use to fix things. Now that we're done clearing out the railroad, we don't need as many of them. Oh, and one other thing. Even though there is typically an interchange in Whittier as well as Andrews, for this playthrough, I am not using the Whittier interchange. Everything has to go over Red Marble. That obviously makes things harder because, well, everything has to go over Red Marble. But it's also a lot easier because you're not having to constantly figure out, okay, does this car go this way or that way or which way, and sort things out in tiny yards and places. If it goes this way, it goes. If it's ready to go, it goes that way. Okay, freight train passing Hewitt, passenger train almost to Andrews. Pulpwood is still unloading, though. There will probably be a time skip once we get the passenger trains turned. And I am using timetables. In the early game, timetables don't do you a whole lot. In the late game, they're better. It's really nice because passengers will only appear at the times that the timetable is, or approaching up to it. And you can set your train to just run on the timetable. So I can set a train to timetable 8 pass, tell it go, and it'll make all the required stops. And I don't have to look at it again. Well, I do have to look at it once, or at least enough to make sure it doesn't run into any other trains, but I'll know that it's making all the stops. Yeah, I don't have any other real mods at the moment. I've definitely seen a lot displayed. WNCR tends to have a lot of them. There's a CNO T1, which is a 210-4 and absolutely massive. I'm not using it, but it's out there somewhere. Raider Locomotive Works has a few. There's apparently someone who made a ton of British locomotive mods. I'm not using them, but they're out there. If you have Railloader, which, meh. There's mods to add industries and change track layouts, which is cool, but at the moment I don't need it. Scrapalachia is the only one I know of that doesn't use that. We are gonna pop back here because I think our freight train will be arriving soon enough. Again, I would say Map Enhancer is probably going to be the most useful one. Because Map Enhancer really, well, enhances the map. It makes it so much easier to see what you're doing. Let's just wait here for a second and see if the engine loads in before it gets to us. What? Looking at another train? Oh, that could also happen. We're gonna watch this train go by and then we will deal with 48. That might just be you, Celestial. I like mountains. And again, the D85 is another fun mod. Okay, just to make sure, when you say Southern Pacifics, you mean the 410-2s, correct? You mean Southern Pacifics, not Southern Pacifics? Alright, let's go save 48 because it can't seem to help itself. Admittedly, I kind of set it up for failure by accident because I left the switch open. For some reason, that switch always causes me issues. But while we're looking at it, here's one of those charter caboose. You'll see it looks the exact same as a regular caboose, but it carries passengers. And it gets the ops car bonus. So in this case, I've got two of them bracketing a long series of these, of the heavyweights. And that way I get the ops car bonus. And keep in mind, these things are light. It doesn't actually give you a weight in here. But if we go to the buy menu and find the charter caboose, 6,000 pounds. That is 3 tons. That is practically nothing. Ooh, which Pacific did you get to go see? I can't think of the last time I saw a Pacific. Probably a museum somewhere. Ooh! Oh, that's a cute one. As you're probably aware, that's in the base game. The P-18 is basically Little River 110. Actually, come to think of it, the last Pacific I saw was probably the last time I was in Portland, because they've got one there too. And it's a restoration. It's coming along quite well, I understand. Snowbird is burning through paper. It's also loading up the pole. Yeah, so maybe this session, maybe after the session, I will be switching this out and getting things ready for interchange. Oh yeah, another nice thing about timetables is when your train reaches the end of the timetable, it won't leave the station automatically. It'll just sit and wait. So you don't have to worry about your train arriving at the end and then running through the end of interchange and you have to come drag it back. 34 has reached its waypoint, so it is time to set that up. Well, you'll probably have enough water. So we're going to put these two together and MU them. And one thing I've discovered, I'll give you a little hint. If you want to MU something, put the extra engines in manual. Otherwise, they will insist on cutting themselves out. Or on MUing themselves. There we go. So we're going to tie their hoses. And then we'll grab you and say MU. And now this engine is in control. Now we're going to see if it can get all the way up Red Marble. Something tells me we're going to be doubling this one, but we will find out. In theory, I guess you could tug of war. I haven't actually tried that. I don't think it would work very well if you have them both on manual. Or on automatic. There's an easy way to watch this though. We'll just keep an eye on Train 34's speed. And look at all that money we got in Andrews. So if this drops to 0, we know we need to go save it. In the meantime, though, we're going to head to Andrews, and we're going to get this train turned around. I have a pattern for this. Take it away from the station. We'll get water. We'll Y the engine, and then we'll put it on the other end. And that's another reason I have cabooses on both ends. It means I don't need to turn the whole train around. Ooh, 4 cylinders. That sounds cool. I saw a neat Pacific in Denmark. I also saw a whole bunch of other neat engines. I'm going to manual this for a second. Not quite. Set some air, uncouple, and once we're done with water, we will send it around the Y. Now the real question is, while you were in France, did you see or ride any TGVs? I definitely saw some ICE trains when I detoured into Germany, but I haven't seen a TGV, and I didn't get a chance to ride any of the high-speed stuff. Although those IC3s in them go pretty dang fast. Yes, I do know 765. In fact, I think that's the basis for the Burke in the game. Don't quote me because I don't know my Burks, but I want to say it's the basis. It's probably not, and I'm probably wrong. Ooh, very nice. Yeah, that would be another fun one to go see, but I'm on the opposite end of the country. So I can... Well, have I seen a Burke? I don't think I've seen a Burke. I ought to go find a Burke sometime. There's enough of them around. How much water? Oh, that's right. This one's the 14,000 gallon tank. And then we'll coal it up afterwards. It'll probably burn up the coal hopper and we'll need to send it out again. There we go. So go to here. And it looks like our other train has reached Whittier, so we'll be turning that one pretty quick too. I do like the fact that they added a 480 into the game. I know they're not very common, but I just like the 480. Seems like a fun wheel arrangement. Oh, we got money at Whittier, so we better get the train at Whittier turned too. 34 is, well, actually, yeah, well, we'll get you started turning around. Then I think we need to go look at 34 real quick. Well, the problem is you are going the wrong direction. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to cut you off there and see if you can recover. And we're going to roll these, I guess, just into the siding. A 4-10-10-4. I mean, it's possible, but why? The Santa Fe had 2 10-10-2s, and they didn't like him that much, as I recall. Okay, I think now our train is going to make it up the hill. I mean, something to keep in mind is, while a 4-10-4 was proposed, none were actually ever built. Oh, that's right. You made some freelancing stuff, didn't you? Alright, you guys need to stop. Please stop. There we go. Alright, you are making speed now. So now, I just need to tell you to go there. And then tell you, I can't remember how far I need to move these trains. I'm just going to tell you to go there, and then we'll reposition you for coal and water as needed. Okay. And then I think once we're done and we've got the passenger trains heading off, we're going to play with this log train a bit. Get things ready to move around. Because we'll probably send our East End freight engine. Probably send this back once more. That, of course, is the K-35, which is based on Oregon Pacific and Eastern 19, formerly McLeod 19, formerly Wairika Western 19, and also some other 19, I guess. Contrary to what you might have heard from certain birdmen, it is not based on Sumter Valley 19. I would know. In fact, the reason I'd know is because this past weekend I was helping put new tubes in Sumter Valley 19. It was a lot of work, and I got kind of dirty, but it was also a lot of fun, and I'm glad I did it. So, that's of course for the federal boiler inspection. And hopefully she'll be back. Probably next year, knock on wood. I will try and keep an eye out for that. Blue Bridge Railroad Productions, thank you. So now we need a coal up. And one other thing we can do. So we've got this set to train symbol that. We're going to tell it to go to the next train on the schedule. So next time it goes to the station, it'll wait to run that schedule. It also means we can now grab our passenger train and tell it to copy from the timetable and then copy to everything else. So now everything's ready to go once it's ready. 55 has reached where it needs to go. 43 has reached where we're trying to get it. Okay. I figured we'd overshoot, but that's okay. One nice thing about 43 is that you can take both coal and water at the same time. At least if I know how to do it right. And then let's go take a look at 55. Overshot. Nope, never mind. Alright, so 55. So 55 we're going to send to go get serviced. And now we're going to send you to break up this train. So we'll stick the caboose. Well, probably what we'll do is we'll take these back to the scrap line. And then we'll just put the caboose maybe on the repair track for a bit. Just give it a little touch-up, you know? And some oil. Oh! Well, that's out of oil, but it was already dead, so it didn't hotbox. Hotboxes are super annoying to deal with, but I think you can turn them off. Everything else is doing fine. We're gonna break action, go back to our passenger trains. Yeah, so you're ready. I'll tell you to come here. Now let's also get you turned because you're almost ready. Now it's important that you make sure you are not in the station when you do this, otherwise it will not want to leave the station. What are we doing with coal? Okay, 34 is still slogging up. So I will tell you to come to the scrap line and then we're gonna shove everything up. This engine is almost scrapped. I think that was actually the first engine I brought in. Yeah, we'll turn you, put you in the roundhouse, and you'll be ready for tomorrow, because we're not going to send another train from Bryson to Andrews this session. For one, we don't really have any cars that need to go back. I mean, we've got a couple pulpwood cars, but that's about it. Those can wait till tomorrow. So this one will probably just get stashed on a track and put on the outbound train to swap in the morning. And then we'll send the coal tower car out, and then we'll send the Whittier engine to come get these. You are at your waypoint, so now if I tell you to road forwards... Nope, that's not what I wanted. I forgot to switch my engine. I hate it when I do that. If I tell you to road forward... There we go. Depart at 1620. And same for you. Well, in this case it'll be 1610, but yeah. Possibly a little bit of a reposition. God, I got so many cars on this train. So now we've saved. We're going to do our just... Oh, hey, we got more signals. That means there's going to be cars to pick up at Alarka Junction next time. You know what, just for fun, we're gonna do more signals. We're not going to Silva. We're not going to Alarka either. This road is hectic enough to run by myself. Alright, wait 5 more minutes. And we're just going to do 5-minute bursts until we get to about 4 o'clock. The last train of the day always seems to have the fewest people. So I'm not expecting a ton of crowds. Plus, Bryson will have a lot of people to pick up. Let's do one more, and then we'll just do the natural waiting. I know it looks like a lot of cars for the number of passengers we have, but in the morning, this train is packed. Yeah, no, we'll just wait for natural. That's one downside to using timetables, is if you try and use the skip time feature, all your trains will suddenly run late. So if you like skipping time, timetables are not for you. Alright, now just shove all this forward. Now, things scrap over time, but you get paid at the end of each day. And you can make quite a bit of money. Of course, if you buy used stuff, you can also just, you know, save it. I've done that a couple times. Okay, you're still slogging your way up the hill. We'll have to send the 71 back for the other half of the train. You know what we're gonna do? Our pulpwood situation. Yeah, so got a lot of pulpwood cars. I think we're gonna leave that one. We're gonna take these to get reloaded. So for now, take these up to about there. I should add, I'm running this location on full tiers, so I need a lot of pulpwood. And then we'll run it around, and again, once... Well, you could probably get it out ahead of the other train. Well, we could, but then it'll just run into the other trains. Hadn't considered that. So no, it'll probably end up going out after. And then just following the passenger train up to Topton. We are not going to do any switching for a bit because I think we'll get some more cars loaded up if we wait. Very fast slowdown there. I think the engineer forgot how much braking power he had. Alright, now run yourself around. And while the caboose is fixing itself, you can go start working on the other cars up here. And then we'll get 55 set up. I guess one other thing we can do... Well, let's take a quick look. Well, there's one car, but we might just hit that in the morning. Sawmill, we've got, again, one car, so we could fetch that. We might do that, just set up our outbound train like that. Yeah, so once we got 11 and 12 figured out, funny how those numbers worked out. Well, 12's not going to be leaving for a bit, so we'll go over to Whittier. So we're only going to be bringing 3 cars back, it looks like, this time. Because nothing else here is ready to go. So we'll drop our caboose here, and then we'll send you out to get some things. So for those who celebrate it, anybody got fun plans for Memorial Day weekend? Or not Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend. I always say Memorial Day weekend, even though I know it's Labor Day weekend. I don't know why. And I don't make that mistake in the opposite direction. I just always think there's 2 Memorial Days instead of 1 Memorial and 1 Labor Day. Alright, so you go grab that card. And then we'll do some switching here and we can send some cars up to get loaded. So right now, Whittier Sawmill takes 11 cars a day. I think if we bump it up to tier 3, which is the minimum we need, it's, oh, okay, big freight's ready. It's like 15. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do here. So, 71, you need to head back to Nantahala and grab those cars we left behind. Once you uncouple again. And then once that's done, we'll tell 34... I think 34 probably to Roto. We'll just have 34 go to Roto, and then it'll meet the passenger train. And then with any luck, 71 will meet the other train at Topton. There we go. Alright, let's head back to you. So throw your cars on the back of the canyon. For now, I'm gonna have you move that car just to here. Okay, first train is departing Whittier. Other one is 10 more minutes. Not entirely sure why I put this car all the way up here, but okay. So now take this car, put it there. I don't think you can squeeze into that split real quick, so for now just come down here. And you pick up your train and then you can head out too. How are you doing on form? You should be fine. Yeah, once we've got 10 out of the way, we will have 105 do some switching. I just leave all the markers on, apparently. I did not notice this thing had a curved smokestack, and it bothers me now. Or an angled one. Did anyone else know that? Because you do now. So we will tell you to come to this track. And we'll see how well you do. Alright, now you can grab these cars and we'll do some switching. And probably by switching I mean kicking. Nothing else really needs our attention. Yeah, 11's getting the coal car dropped off. That's good. Astro Train has reached Gila. We might take a quick run up the Walker branch once the 10's train gets here. And now it is time for some kicking. Please note that while what I'm doing is technically not illegal in real life to my knowledge, it is not highly advised, except in very controlled situations. 34 is at its waypoint. That's good. Come on, a little more. There we go. So go up here. Oh, that's right. So we're gonna have you just come up to here. Wait. And then we'll send you out once the passenger train is ready. And you should not be thrown for that again. In the meantime, well, that's probably about to move, so. It's probably going to go out pretty soon. I wish there was a way to prioritize which cars get loaded or unloaded. Because this one needs to go all the way to Hemingway. But it's waiting. Seems to be unloading in a bit of a random order, and I'm not entirely pleased with that. Alright, 71 is ready. And everything has handbrakes on it. Go to Opton. Because I think that's as far as you're going to make it before we run into more trains. And that would be the other passenger train getting ready to leave. Did I see something for Bryce? No. The other train has not reached Bryson. The other train is scheduled to reach Bryson. That's not very helpful. Soon-ish. Follow that train! We'll just have to make sure to catch that Topton. So now we're just waiting for things to move. So I think the next thing we'll move is 55. We'll get you stuffed into the roundhouse. It is technically possible to use the turntable from the sky view, but it's so hard. Oh, there's already a train on that track. Here, let's just do it this way. Think backwards. So 10 is now running on the other passenger train's heels. And 105 is... Yep, you're just going to sit around and load logs. That is your life now. Why are you on restricting? Oh, that would do it. Hopefully that's it. Yeah. You can go faster again. And you've got a speed limit because you're following the other train, which is good. That's what I want. And in terms of passengers, we have a lot of passengers. I guess for now, take you... Let me think. Just come up here for a sec. So I'm gonna have to think about how to orient trains. Yeah, we're not going to be full leaving Bryson, especially since there will probably be people getting off here. But they'll have a bunch. We'll probably turn the Mikado on here as well, so we'll just line that up. How many fares is that? 21? Okay, not as many as I thought. So we're watching for Rhoda. Yeah, you're gonna have to hold it top then. You can't get to Rhoda before the other train leaves. You need to eventually grab cars from there. So I think what I'll do... we'll just start building the next train. And then we'll have 11 take these cars up, bring down the other log cars, and 10 will return with those. But first we'll send it to, you know, coal and water and all that. Alright, so now you head for the coal tower. And then we'll just take the caboose when we come back. Yeah. So now we tell you to head up the Walker branch. And just start by grabbing these cars, if I can find them. There's these cars. Oh, you're falling cold. Never mind. Well, okay, 12 is at Rhoda then. And blocking the line so 34 can't get by. So you just do your shove. What would be the saying, I guess? Take these cars and shove them? Pretty quick we'll be able to get 34 out. Come on. A little more. Oh, I guess I just can't see the rails. So I guess you'll just have to go put your car on the back of your on train. Alright, well 34 should be clear now. Yes. So we will tell you to proceed to the interchange. And then turn you around in coal and water and all that. 71 is going to have to detour into here. And yeah, so we're once again kind of just watching things happen at the moment. It's not really anything to do. One thing to consider is we might have the morning train pick up these cars from Alarka Junction. That'll mean a stop to move these here and then run around and grab them, because we won't want to do the Y because then our engine faces it wrong. Guess we can go have 10 get its caboose on its train. Not sure what happened there. It looks so much closer than it really is. We might have a little more switching to do in a bit once that car finishes loading. Bang. Nope. I want you to close that and then head up there. I will blow that. And open that. So, what's gonna make it next? 11, maybe. So, it could be 11, could be 34, could be 70, well, might be 71. 71 would be needs to move next. 46, we're still just gonna wait a bit. Well, let's go take a look at 46. So these ones aren't gonna move anytime soon, I'm pretty sure. That one's not gonna move anytime soon. Okay. What we're gonna do is we'll just start having you build your outbound train. But we'll have 71 grab these cars when it drops off pulpwood. And we're watching for arrival of trains at Topton. So we'll grab those, put those back. Then I guess we'll grab those. Then we need to flip these front 5 cars over to that track. Now put those back here. Once again, I'm always a little thrown by the fact that Snowbird is just the same building. In this case, it's actually Appalachian Hardwood. Copied over, like, how many times is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? I hope at some point we get a better building for this. After a while, this just looks silly. Might rearrange some of the songs on this playlist. It's a good playlist, I really like it, but I might rearrange some of the songs on it. Okay, so 48 is there, 12 is there, we want 12 to hold. Because then we'll send it down separate. And 71 is now ready to go. So we'll tell 71 to come here. Oh, maybe this track, just because the outside track has so much, such sharp curves on it. Sounds like the 34 has arrived. And so has 11, so let's go deal with 11. We will make things a little easy on 11. We'll have it grab these cuts of cars separately. Just because it's downhill once you start going that way, and I'm not 100% sure it'll be able to handle all the loaded cars. Possibly should have sent the mic up instead. So on a side note, according to YouTube, I started doing these streams about 10 months ago. And wow. I did not realize how long this was going to take. Definitely done a lot of episodes. 50 episodes plus an initial just tester. We'll just bounce back and forth between 11 and 56 for a bit. And I think we can tell 12 to get going too. Passenger train is not quite as far as we'd like. It has a lot of people on it, though. Holy cow. I'd love to get more cars on that train, but I don't think it'll be able to pull in much more red marble and keep schedule. How many? So, Upper Logs produces 20 cars a day, so we could add a couple more cuts of cars if we wanted to. And 34 has dropped off its train, so we're going to set some handbrakes. Because this yard is on a white. Oh, look, a Sumter Valley car. It is on a downgrade. And then we'll tell you to go turn yourself around. Do the hokey pokey while you're at it. Definitely want air. So then we'll drop these, grab those, and take them to interchange. Tie hand brake on a random one to throw me off later. And yeah, like I said, we'll just let 71 grab those. pattern I've been trying to establish is local cars use this track to the extent possible, and anything from beyond Graham County uses this track. So that's going to be Hemingway, Walker, and Connolly. Go. Now you need to come grab that. And you need to go there. They're far enough away that shouldn't cause any problems. Knock on wood. So now we'll send 11 back down the mountain. And 12 has reached its destination as well. So 12, we need you to do is set a handbrake. And then come around and grab these cars. So that's 5. We'll have you then grab one of these when it's loaded for 6, and then take things up in 2 cuts of 6. That might not happen during the stream. I think once the 2 passenger trains reach Wesser, we will call stream. But we still got a bit. That's another 18-ish minutes. .46 is still pulling its stuff out. 34 is reaching its spot. Perfecto. Not perfecto. That box is not as big as I thought it was. I'll get you out of that way, and our other train is past Roto and is en route. And then at some point we're going to need to move some of these other engines out of the way so that we can squeeze the passenger train in here to patch it out. But that won't be till later. Again, probably after stream. I don't know, is it bad streamer etiquette to do off-camera mining? Uh, 12, you can set. We don't need you for a bit. Yeah, we'll need a new track for that. Parting Nantahala. And you know what? We can probably at least get you knuckled into the back of this cut. And it loads pretty fast, so maybe we can start pulling these cars soon. I feel like it probably... Well, let's see. It feels like I'm giving that more time than it needs. Don't remember why I did that. If I do edit timetable... Nantahala to Western... Well, it says 13 to 15 minutes. And I gave it an extra minute, so that's why. I think going the other way I only gave it 14 minutes. That's okay. 48. What? Oh. Ha! I accidentally sent you through the sighting at Nantahala. I'm sorry. It worked, but I'm sorry. We will undo that. Didn't use the water tower this time, but it's pretty frequent that we do use it. Alrighty. You are still taking on water. You are a thirsty engine. $71 is almost here. Oh, that's right, downhill. Surely that can't possibly end badly. Yeah, it can. Okay, yeah, I did get a handbrake set. That's good. Well, I think that'll do it. These tracks are flat. And there's 71! Yay! Uh, 105 still waiting. Oh, there's now a car at Ela to go out. We'll have to take... We'll probably have 10 grab that on the way through, and we'll take it to Bryson in the morning. And you overshot. Nope, apparently you're fine. Your hitbox is a little oversized. You also don't need that much coal, so we're gonna... yeah. I'll have you go get water next. Did I miss something for 11? No, 11 is still working its way down. Okay, 11 is coming in the Bryson. That is a nice thing about the signals. Yeah, waypoint yourself there. And then at some point we'll have all these engines migrate up here. Are you saying locomotives are migratory? You're done for a bit, so let's go look at 11. Oh, 71's probably going to be the next one to finish, actually. And then 6 or 11 has some work to do. Eleven will go grab that. 10 can go grab that, and then we need to jump back to 71. So that 71 can grab these. And then we're just waiting for all these to turn pink, basically. 12 should be good to handle them 6 at a time up the mountain. You know, I'll uncouple, but I don't think they'll stay uncoupled. Just to make sure. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're still set up, right? I don't see why it wouldn't be, but you never know. Alright, so we'll have 10 get its train together now. Definitely a lot of train to handle. And hey look, they finished scrapping that one engine. Tonight we find out how much money we got for it. Oh, 71's ready again. Just bouncing around. There we go. So now come up here so we can grab these Andrews cars on the way out. And you... I don't know how you'll do this. It'll be interesting. I want you to stick this on the back. Looks like you're gonna just come this way and around. Keep things within the signal block. Now, real life, I'd be focusing on loads in front, empties in the back. In-game, not terribly worried about it, but it's still fun to try and set it up that way. Out of interest, how's Scrapple actually doing for giving us repair parts? It's loading them as it gets them, so that's something. Now 71 needs to come to the interchange. And we'll need to do something with the caboose too. I guess you can stash the caboose up there. Well, what are you up to? How's the loading coming? Loading is over halfway done. Nance's got cars ready to go out tomorrow. Hewitt's still working on it. Passenger trains are about to meet at Wesser. We're gonna go watch these passenger trains meet at Wesser. And then we'll either finish this song or we'll finish the next song. And we'll probably call it a stream there. But again, I will play through the rest of this day off camera, and then we'll keep going next time I stream. Which might be this weekend, might be next week, next Monday. Like I said, I have heard from the guys at the Sawmill in Whittier that they're liking our service and they're willing to tier up early. So that would be good. It means we can get the series played through a bit faster. I might have to go look for those mountains that Blue Bridge Railroading mentioned. There we go. So with that, folks, as these trains are making their way past each other, I want to thank you all for watching this stream. I always appreciate it. Do the like, subscribe thing if you want or not. I have no control over your life. Yeah, tune in maybe this weekend, maybe next week, and we'll be a little bit closer to finishing this game. So, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great night and have a good and safe Labor Day weekend. Take care.